Okay, you guys, good morning. Welcome back to Morning Talks with Ro. I was sitting in a place, I guess, that wasn't giving me the best reception. So I am back. We're talking about where change really comes from. I'm going to see if I can find another space. We're going on this adventure together. Did you guys get yourself a great morning drink for us to have this conversation and hopefully talk about what's real, talk about what change you'd like to see in your life, and then what challenges you feel that you're facing in seeing that change manifest. What do you feel is the biggest challenge, or are the biggest challenges to seeing that change come into fruition, come into manifestation, come into physical existence? Welcome back to the conversation, you guys. I had bad reception, so I'm finding a new place. Do you see how beautiful and sunny it is? Outside is so pretty. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to be safe, because I know sometimes it scares people. When I'm driving and talking at the same time, it's not necessarily the safest thing, but I am keeping my eyes on the road. Let's see if I can. So if you want to drop some questions here, or drop some ideas, or drop some things in here that you'd like to talk about. Tell me what your challenges are, because if there's something that I can share with you to help you move through that block or challenge, I'm going to do it. This is the perfect opportunity to take advantage of all the studying and living, conscious living that I do to try to bring you guys the best information to help you take your living and your experiences to the next level. It is a practice for me. It is a practice to practice these principles. You can't just gather the knowledge and then let it sit and say, yeah, I read that book. Oh, I listened to that guy. But if you're not applying this stuff, it doesn't become wisdom, you know? If you're not applying the principles, how can you know if they really work, or how they would really work for you or someone else? Because each of us is in a very different developmental stage than the next person. Welcome to the conversation, everybody. How you doing? It's Morning Talks with Ro. We're talking about where real change comes from. And I also started the other video with this dope quote, and once I can find a place to kind of park myself, I'm going to read it to you guys again, because I thought it was so powerful when I read it that I was like, wow, I gotta give them this bit of information. So let me see if I can just pull over. I think I found me a spot, baby. And let's see if we can have ourselves a really great conversation. All right, let's see. Here we go. Okay, can you see my face? It's so it's so sunny. I don't think you... Hey, Joseph, welcome to the conversation, darling. I don't know if you guys can see my face, so I'm going to see if I can pull into this other spot. And it might be a little bit better. Let's see right here. All right, I think I might have found something. It is so beautiful today. Happy Monday. I don't know where you guys are in the country tuned in. It's probably very, very different weather everywhere. Hey, I know you can see me, but there's shadows all over my face based on what I could see on the camera. Okay, I think I might have found a spot. I don't want to be unsafe. Okay, what's up, you guys? Maybe this isn't the best, but I'm at least in a parking lot where I can make a better decision about where I am. Welcome to Morning Talks with Ro. Hey, Tanisha. Hey, Lisa, welcome to the conversation. So here's that quote that I read this morning that I was like, yo, or heard this morning, and I had to pause the video. I was like, let me write this down. This is too amazing, because there's a lot that it's saying in a little bit of a paragraph. It says, let's see if I can write it. I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, waking up out of the middle of my sleep, writing stuff down for you guys this morning. It says, decisions are forming our action. Those actions are forming our habits. Those habits are forming our character. And that character is forming our destiny. One more time. Decisions, the decisions that you make, are forming your action. From those decisions, you're going to take action. Those actions are forming your habits. What you do every day determines what you're going to become. Those actions are forming your habits. Those habits are forming your character, how you operate from the inside, who you are, what's at the base of your value system. What's your value system? And then that character is forming your destiny. There's a great quote by Tony Robbins. He says, decisions decide our destiny. I mean, some people may say, well, you're going to go where you're going to go regardless. But if you don't make certain choices, or if you make certain choices, it can take you off of certain paths, right? Now, maybe you'll get there in a roundabout way or not. I don't know. But decisions do define our destiny. They determine where we're going. They determine where our focus is. They determine what actions we take. And from those actions, it produces results. So what are you doing on a daily basis to produce the change or produce the manifestation, the dreams, the goals that you want? Matter of fact, here's an even better question. If you continue doing what you're doing today, where will you be next year? If you continue doing exactly what you're doing today, where would you be next year? Where will you be in 2 years? Where will you be in 5 years? So if you know that your current actions, your current thought process, your current way of doing things, your current habits are not supporting the you need to become in order to see the results you want to see, are you willing to do something different today? Are you willing to commit, be bacon? We were talking about that in the last video. Because once a pig becomes bacon, there's no turning back. That's the ultimate sign of commitment, right? Are you willing to be bacon about making some new choices that are going to put you on path for what you really want for yourself? So, talk to me, you guys. Talk to me. Hey, Alvin. Hey, Marquita. What's going on, Keisha? This is Ask Ro videos, baby. Ask Ro right now. Morning Talks with Ro is Ask Ro. So if you have a question for me, feel free to jump in and let's chop it up. So for those of you who are listening, that's right, Tiffany, be bacon, be committed. That's what it takes. It takes our persistence and it takes our consistency. This is a practice, folks. How many of us know that we won't always feel like it? How many of you know that you will not always feel like it? Motivation is not enough to make sure that you get done what you need to get done. It takes commitment. It takes discipline, to be honest with you. This is why we want to form the habits. Because those times when you don't feel like it, you want your discipline to kick in. Discipline comes from making a decision every day to do the same thing until it becomes a habit. It's a practice. Waking up every morning and doing my meditation is not always the thing that I want to do sometimes, although I know it's so beneficial for me. But sometimes I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? But once I get into it and I finish it, I'm so grateful I did it. You know, sometimes I don't want to wake up as early. But if I push myself, if I discipline myself, then it becomes a habit. Then I start to function from that space. And then when I don't function from that space, I don't feel quite on. I don't feel like I'm myself, really. I don't really feel rooted in my power. You know, so discipline is actually an ally. A lot of us as kids associate discipline with punishment. So we have to tweak our brains. If you're still carrying that thought forward as an adult, tweak your perspective around discipline. Discipline is actually an ally. Discipline is actually your friend. It's something that supports you. And it's something that helps you manifest your dreams. Uh-oh, we got a big one. Now you're more successful because you started following this plan. Your learning center is bigger and becoming better every day. You have to start being more business. Church. Shout out to you, Tanisha. Congratulations. Focus, Alvin says. Hey, Megan. Hey, darling. How did it go on The Voice? Okay. Tanisha, you said you had to learn this the hard way. What do you mean by that? You had to learn this the hard way. Yes, it's really a lifestyle choice. It truly is a lifestyle choice. I cannot stress to you guys enough how much this is a practice. A lot of people, I don't know if it was this video or the last video that I was saying, you know, you pick up all this knowledge, but I think it was earlier in this video, but you don't apply it. It's not wisdom. You just got a lot of knowledge. Do you know that I was on a conscious journey of learning and spiritual growth for 14 years? And at the 14th year, I was like, I guess I'm reading for maintenance, because I felt like I started to run across a lot of the same principles again. But what I didn't even realize is that, have you applied all these principles to every aspect of your life? And the book that really turned it around for me, that made me go, oh my gosh, there's always more. I don't know if I'll ever go back to that thought again, that I'm reading for maintenance, was A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And it was, or Eckhart Tolle. And it was his chapter on ego. And I was like, what? He broke the ego down so gangster that I was like, yo, I didn't even think about ego. A lot of the times we think about ego, it may be associated with a negative connotation, like, you know, who you think you are and, you know, operating from this conceited space. But ego is just you defining yourself in the world, giving yourself definition. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be this negative thing. It's just how you show up in the world. But he breaks it down in such a way that it was like, wow, there's always more. There's more me to be expressed. There's more thoughts for me to expand. There's more books for me to read. There's no way for me to be bored ever again. Ever again. Just for me to learn everything I can learn on one subject matter is consuming. But if I decide to spread my focus to different things so that I have something of even better and more significant value to add to life, there's so much to learn. Let's see what you guys are saying. You have a hard time controlling your facial expressions and tone when you're agitated. What can you do to fix it? Shout out, Keisha. I mean, I wear my stuff on my sleeves too. I've had to work on a poker face, if you will. Some of us are just more animated than others. And the beauty of that, let me speak to the beauty of that before I get into maybe why you would want to shift it or work on it a little bit, is that at least people know what they're getting when they meet you. You know, at least you 100. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out here walking around being their representative or not really being themselves, and you don't know what you're getting from them. So shout out to you if you're showing up in life just being who you are. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as that is concerned, that's all personal growth, in my humble opinion. If you want the facial, this is the same thing. Where does real change come from? Beautiful question. It comes from within. So if you want your facial expression to change, it's probably where's your judgment coming from about the person or thing that you have an issue with. Why do you have that judgment? Question it. Just like them, or just like you, you're trying to make a change. Maybe so is that other person or that other situation. How can you look at it differently? How can you expand or shift your perspective to be more accommodating? Then your facial expression is going to change. You know what I mean? We can dive into that more if you get more specific. But it's coming from within. So once you change what's happening within, what's happening without is going to shift as well. So true. Visible scars meet visible results. It takes determination. Hello. Hey, Stephen, welcome to the conversation. Hey, Ro, do you have any tips on to get into deep meditation? You try, but just can't seem to comfort zone. Well, you know what? I want to give you guys a tip about meditation. I got that meditation was beneficial, right? But I'm like, you know, when people would tell me, well, you got to seesaw thought, you got to clear the mind. I'm like, yo, my mind is going like this, 100 miles an hour. I got thoughts going constantly. I don't know how to stop my thoughts in my mind. So it was frustrating. It was a frustrating experience for me. But not until I ran into my guru out here, Light Watkins. Shout out to Light. He does something called Vedic meditation. It's for the Western liver. It's for the layman. He says, look, it's not about stopping your thoughts. It's about embracing your thoughts. We are thinkers. We live in a world where energy is constant. Thoughts are constant. So embrace your thoughts instead of trying to stop them. And they will naturally dissolve. And if they don't, then that means your brain, your receptors need to let that off in order for you. And all of this is healing. And even though your mind is racing, if it's letting off those thoughts, you just watch them like passing cars. You don't judge them. Good, bad, indifferent. You just watch them like passing thoughts in your mind's eye. And eventually, because you're not judging it, because you're not making yourself feel like you have to do it a certain way, you're not sitting in some specific position, and none of that's necessary. Just get comfortable so you don't fall asleep. And if you do fall asleep, that means you needed it. Everything you embrace. And that was a mirror to my spiritual walk. Said that makes sense to me. Embracing what is. Because even if you do that, think about that, you guys. If you embrace what is, how much judgment will fall off of what you're seeing, what you're experiencing? A lot. If you just embrace what is, right? So embrace the thoughts that go by. Look at them like passing cars. Don't judge them one way or the other. Just like you see cars on the street. You're not thinking about, maybe you are, I don't know. But if you are, more than likely, sometimes you just see them passing by. Think about your thoughts in that same way, then you can relax. And then you can see what bubbles up to the surface of your conscious mind to be realized by you, your conscious self, you know. And then if you're having trouble relaxing, close your eyes and count backwards in your mind's eye from 50 or 60 till you get down to 0. Use your breath. Your breath is very calming. Pay attention to what it feels like. Use your body. Put your attention and your conscious focus and attention on different parts of your body. Like, for example, everybody try this right now. Whatever position you're sitting in, just focus on your left foot. Stay focused on me. Stay focused on what I'm saying. But be conscious of what your left foot feels like. Don't move it to make sure it's there. Let it be still and let it be relaxed. But just be aware of your left foot. Now that you're bringing attention, conscious awareness to your left foot, do you feel like there's like kind of like a slight buzzing sensation? Just enough to let you know that it exists. That's what you can do in meditation too. Use your body. Anytime you're in front of somebody, Keisha, and you want to be more in control of your face, right? If you're still practicing from the inside, you know, the judgments that you have, focus on your body. Take your focus to your shoulder. Take your focus to your breathing. You can still be paying attention to them, but take your focus to your right kneecap. You feel me? Use your body too. There's several ways that you can meditate. There's several ways that you can use your own physical body to get more control of your moment. Let's see. Needed to call you. Hey, Monica. We don't pass the knowledge in our circles. Well, we're passing it now, Alvin. This is what Morning Talks with Ro is all about. Yes, that book, A New Earth and the Ego Chapter, changed your life. Also so powerful, you guys. Megan McNeil, I'm so glad you're enjoying this conversation. Okay, Crystal says, definitely learned this the hard way. I've spent too many years doing what everyone else wanted me to do, being who others wanted me to be, putting everyone else first, working on me now. Uh-oh, go back. All right. Finally, go back. Oh, working on you now, finally. Beautiful, Crystal. You have to get that book. Absolutely recommended, Ebony. What was my motivation for what, Joseph? Rona, so great to see you. Been a long time since Vernon Park Church of God. Denise, how are you? Real talk, Rona. We create our desired perception. Just keep it real. Hello. Armand, welcome to the conversation. Okay, you were so focused. Tanisha says, she's bringing us back to what she said. You were so focused on being a good friend and family member when it came to hiring instead of a good businesswoman. I had to start being more business and keep my friendships and family relationships. Speak on it. Come on now. Separate. You even had to take this stance in your music and acting as well, and was taking projects without being paid because I love the art. But Ro, I've put in that work already. My talent is important to me. Bottom line, had to become more business. Hello, honor yourself. Know your worth. Create your worth. Speak on it. Initially, meditation and visualization takes practice. Yes, it does. And it always takes practice. I don't want you guys to think that all of a sudden you've mastered meditation. Even that can get in the way, right? Of actually just doing it and allowing it to be an ally, to be a life tool that supports you in your calm, that supports you in your ability to relax about things that are happening, the things that you see in the outside world. There are some things that I have a charge about. You guys know what it is. I've picked one recently that I'm very inspired to be a voice for. But it does not consume me. It is something that I lend my voice to, that I lend my critical thinking to, that I lend my compassion to, but it doesn't consume me. I can't afford for it to do that, because I also know that my vibratory force that I carry around with me on a daily basis is also creative. This is what we were talking about. Where does real change come from? It's refreshing to hear that from today's woman. Awesome, Alvin. Deep, love it. Thanks for a contribution. You got it, John. Thank you for my book, sir. Thank you. Keisha, for example, just made your crossing into Kappa Epsilon Psi military sorority. Awesome. Congratulations, lady. Have this soror that has forgotten that in the sorority there is no rank, and she is always trying to take over discussions, and I always give her the stink face as soon as she starts speaking, and she never wants to hear other input. As you continue to do personal self-development, and this is something that we all, in my humble opinion, need to commit to if you want to see real, lasting, and empowering change in your life. It starts with your self-development. It starts from within. It starts with doing your own decluttering and personal house cleaning. And then those revelations and things that pop up that need to be healed in you, that need to be worked on, will show up. And then it's up to you to be committed, be bacon, and work on it and practice the principles that you learn, so that you can continue to reveal more of who you're capable of being, more of your greater potential. Let's see. You have too much confusing things going on. You're getting frustrated. Monica, talk to me. Still remembering what you taught me. That's what's up, baby. Good Motivation Monday. Thank you, Charles. Good morning, everybody. Do you find that your diet is real important in your growth? I do, Robert. I do think that what we eat makes a big difference in how we show up in life, even as far as giving you energy or making you sluggish, clouding your judgment because it has you tired, irritated. Eating GMOs, we don't even know, we're the guinea pig generation for this, what it's going to mean. I even heard that, and this is just a hearsay, disclaimer, but I think you should all be, researching this stuff that they say is happening. It could be making kids sterile. All these kids growing up on GMOs, most of this food, they say about 80% of it is genetically modified. It's genetically engineered. We're even getting into the point where vegetables are being created in labs, so you're not even getting it from the earth force, life force in the earth. What is really going on, So I do think that there is an element to food that makes a big difference. Also, though, a metaphysician might say, a person who believes in spiritual science might say that if your thinking is so strong, if your belief is so strong, then a placebo effect can take place. And quite possibly it's not even the placebo effect, it's the truth effect. You can, if your mindset is a certain way, you can be strong enough to transmute the food that goes into your body, turn it into energy or whatever you need it to be. That's on a whole other level, of thinking. But until you can get to that place, which most people aren't, they're just not conscious enough. They just don't have that strong of a belief system. You do need to eat a certain way because the mind believes a certain way. When you put in the vegetables, you believe you're going to be healthy, then you need to eat more life-giving foods. Life gives life to life, right? Death, we're eating a lot of dead food. You're giving dead food to a live body. What does that mean? Think about these things, right? My meditation allows me to be more fluid and be in total allowance of life. Yes, that's the whole purpose of meditation, you guys. Crystal Elkins, aside from the book already mentioned, what other book or books do you recommend for personal self-development? Depends on where you want to grow. Where do you feel you need most growth in your life? I have so many books to recommend, my goodness. It depends. Some people may say that they don't take to necessarily the religious aspect of, you may not believe in the Christian way or the Islam way, or, who knows. There was a great book that I read years ago called Conversations with God by a guy named Neil Donald Walsh. Different way of thinking about approaching the Most High or that omnipresent source of intelligence. There's a book called The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. He has a great quote in there that I live by today. Do until you demonstrate. Awesome quote about persistence. Not a lot of fanfare, but it's the real deal. There are great books by the mystic Osho. A lot of people can't handle what he talks about sometimes because it's just so straight, no chaser. You feel me? And it's a whole other approach to spiritual growth. And Osho is spelled O-S-H-O. He was a very radical Indian mystic teacher. You can find some videos of his on YouTube if you want to just get a taste of kind of his personality. A lot of people didn't like him at the time because they felt like he was too flashy. And Osho didn't care. Osho was on a whole other level with his thinking and being and doing. There's a book called Leadership and Self-Deception by the Arbinger Institute. Pick it up. There's books. Oh my gosh, there's so many books, you guys. Ask me something specific and I'll see if I have a specific book for you. Thank you, lady. I'm going to do some personal housekeeping today. Love seeing the positive effect you have on people. Thank you, Nika. Hey, Nika. Hey, beautiful. GMO isn't good to eat. Speak on it. Plant-based foods as much as possible. Absolutely plant-based. Plant-based meaning beans, legumes, seeds, green leafy vegetables, any grains, whole foods. Those are plant-based foods. Got it. Going to start working on it. Awesome. Thank you, my friend, writing some tips down. Beautiful, Renee. Good to see you. Love to you too. Really enjoying this. You're welcome, Trey. Loved those books. Okay, so if you guys have any more questions of me, go ahead and feel free to do that. Good morning, Christine. You know, those are some book recommendations for you. Great teachers to listen to: Jim Rohn, Dennis Waitley, Tony Robbins. Gosh, there's a lot. Of course, Eric Thomas, Les Brown, Simon Sinek, very, very good speaker. Megan, what's her name? I forget her name right now. It'll come back to me. But those are some teachers that you can listen to on a daily basis. You know, we are creatures of habit, you guys. It is so important that you continue to bombard yourself. Be a renegade. Be relentless with this stuff about taking in this information and staying on it constantly, because there are so many people, so many toxic situations, so many things that are coming in from the outside, telling you, willing to tell you who you are, willing to give you limits to yourself, willing to feed your limiting beliefs, willing to give you an illusion of what your life is as opposed to what your life can be. It is so important that you are relentless with taking in this information that will empower you and doing it every day until it becomes a part of your natural thinking process and way that you approach life. Pick up these tools and work them as often as possible, because it's really easy to get off track. There's so much stuff out here to influence you to do that, to get off track every day. Let's see, garden starts next year. Welcome to the conversation, Stephanie. Okay, so if you guys don't have any more questions of me, I hope that let me see what else I wrote down from this morning. I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning writing stuff down. Wrote this down. Can you receive correction? What does that mean to you guys? When we're growing, it is very important that we're flexible. It is hey D, it is very important that we are flexible in our thinking and approach to things, and our ability to receive correction from someone or something outside of ourselves. Doesn't mean you have to believe it, doesn't mean it has to be your truth, but just be open to hearing different things so that you can get the most out of the moment that's going to help you grow. Are you capable of receiving correction, and how well do you do with it? Do you get an attitude? Do you shut people down before they can help you? Because a lot of the times you might not be getting the help that you need because people are afraid to talk to you. They're afraid you're going to shut them down. They're afraid you're going to snap off on them. How many of you guys might have that issue? And that's, coming from it's coming from, being reprimanded when you were a kid, or, an embarrassing moment in the past that you're carrying forward, or whatever it is that has you so defensive that you can't even receive correction. It's going to help you to take the next best step in your life. Think about that. How is your attitude? Oh, Christine, that's huge. If you're really looking for real change and you really want because it's so important. Do you know how valuable it is to get somebody else's opinion, even if you don't like it? Even if you don't like it, it is valuable just to get it. You don't have to believe it. It doesn't have to be your truth. Take what works, discard the rest. But if people are afraid to talk to you, you can miss some jewels that they have to give you to help you stretch into your greater potential. Good morning, Carrington. Good morning. Yeah, we've been going for a second. I don't even know what time it is. I don't know when the next show is. I think it's in December, Norman. You can go to invoguemusic.com. And they should have the shows listed there. Good morning to you. How is your attitude, you guys, to the world, to people around you? And are you afraid to ask people their opinion of something about you? Because you'll learn a lot about yourself when you say, how do you take me in? I know it's hard for you to possibly do that. I've done it before, and it was like, oh gosh, what are they going to say about me? But just breathe and take it in. See what's useful for you. Discard the rest. Doesn't mean it's your truth. Doesn't mean it has to be your truth. Maybe it is the truth. And it's time for you to hear something sobering. Snap you out of wherever you are and help you to take your legitimately a next best step towards a greater version of yourself. What's up, Chantiel? Sending love to you. Congratulations. Shout out to your follow through. Gangster. King. Love you. Okay. D says, say it, we're all capable of having these kind of moments. I ask so they can have it off their chest and move on. That's right. Get opinions about yourself without asking. Hello. You think because being in foster care and people telling you you're worthless. Got it. How do you feel about yourself now, Christine? And what is the dialogue that you feed yourself? It is important, Christine, that you come up with your own champion dialogue now to reverse the programming, to reverse or do away with completely the conditioning that you received coming up. You got to create, you got to parent yourself. You have to reparent you. What encouragement can you give you? And I want you to write this stuff down about who you are. And if you're becoming that, or if you choose to become it, I want you to put it in I am and put an ing on the action word so that it is a present tense thing. I am becoming, I'm having, I'm doing, I'm being, I'm capable of, I am. I want you to write this stuff down and stack it. When I say stack, I mean keep writing until you can't write no more. And then make this a part of your own daily mantra, your own daily manifesto. Put it on mirrors, put it on your refrigerator, put it everywhere you can find it. Record it, play it for yourself in the car to and from work. Reprogram yourself. Reprogram yourself. Okay, I'm sending love to you. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Continue to do positive work. Thank you, Tanisha, for tuning in, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for contributing to today's conversation. Hope to see you back here for more morning talks with Ro, baby. Yes, you are a survivor, Christine. Whenever you get corrections, that also means that other people care about you instead of not seeing you. I hope I'm reading that correctly. It says card about you, but I think you mean care about you instead of not seeing you. What do you mean by that, Stephen? Care. Okay, gotcha. I see it trying to come up on the bottom. Yes. And some people, they may not have your best interest at heart. But some of your enemies, if you will, if you even want to call it that, because those are really probably just your thoughts and perceptions about yourself. But some of it's coming up just as a reflection for you to heal it within yourself. Heal your thought about yourself. Heal your perception about that. Embrace it, which is what we were talking about in connection with meditation, helping us to embrace things about life, about what you're thinking. Let things off without judgment. I love you too, Dwayne. Welcome to the conversation. Hey, Ronnie. Let me see what else I wrote down at 4 something in the morning before I get out of here. Police your thoughts. Similar to what I was sharing with Christine. What are you guys thinking on a regular basis? How do you think about yourself? What do you say about yourself? What words or sentences or phrases do you put behind the words I am? Is it empowering or disempowering? Good morning, Julie. Welcome to the conversation, darling. Is it empowering or disempowering? Does it feed your spirit? Does it take away? Does it put you down? Does it lift you up? Does it tell you where you're going, where you'd like to go, or where you've been, and perpetuate something that you don't want for yourself? Are you policing your thoughts? And when those thoughts come up, can you think of something that cancels it out by speaking its opposite? And what is its opposite? Can you write it down? Because writing it down is going to keep it clear for you. We can forget things. We've got so many thoughts going through our mind on a regular basis. So writing a lot of this stuff down helps you to remember it. It helps it to anchor it in you. And then you can always go back to it and see what you've written. And keep playing that tape until it becomes your champion dialogue. Reprogramming yourself. Reconditioning yourself. That's good. I'm glad you're thinking, Christine. That's what's up. Hey, Dee Dee, welcome to the conversation. Let's see what else I wrote down at 4 something in the morning. The change agent, you're capable. Does it happen from the inside or outside? This is what we talked about. Where does real change come from? If you're growing, you're always ready. Woo! Woo! Yes! If you're growing, you're always ready. That's something I heard this morning. And it's true. Personal development. If you're growing, you are always ready for what's coming up. You know how they say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready? That's part of it. Keep growing. Keep growing. Oh, my goodness. What else? How many of you are willing to be the only one who sees your vision until it manifests? How many of you are willing to be the only one possibly the only person who believes in what you believe in until it comes into fruition, until it manifests in physical reality. How many of you are willing to do that? It may take who knows how long for somebody else to believe in your vision. A year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. How many of you are committed to your vision until it manifests? Huge question. Huge. How many of you are willing to believe in yourself when nobody else does? How many of you are willing to go beyond somebody else's approval of you and give it to yourself? Got to do it every day. Because sometimes you're going to be the only one who believes. Think about, I'll have to bring my boy in here because I think it's just so powerful. Whether you agree with this stance or not, it doesn't matter. This is just to give you something. Colin Kaepernick kneeled by himself. You know how much courage that took to stick with that after he got criticized on that level? And people didn't really jump on the bandwagon of supporting him on this more mass scale until about a year later. Can you imagine how lonely that year was? How lonely was that year for Kaepernick? Whether you agree with his stance or not really important. We're not even judging that, right? We're just talking about the courage it took to have conviction behind what you believe and to stick with it. No matter that nobody else wanted to agree with you in that moment or not. That is so powerful to me. How many of you are willing to believe in whatever it is you want for yourself, whatever dream you have, whatever goal you think you could have, even if you're afraid of it and nobody else believes you're even capable of it because who you've been doesn't reflect where you're going? How many of you are willing to believe in it still, even if nobody sees it except you? That's an important question to ask. And then once you get the answer to that, whether it's a yes or a no, do you need to shift it to the yes? And how do you shift it to the yes? You're willing to believe in you, well, even if nobody else does. Let's see what you say. Like attracts like. The power of the law of attraction. Ask, believe, receive. Ask, believe, receive, take action too. You know, one of the things that people criticized about the secret video, if you had to criticize it, was that it seemed to leave out, not to say that they didn't say it, but it didn't put it on such a prominent pedestal to take action. I want you guys to remember the power, because what is that thing? We're going to go back and read this. It said, decisions are forming our action. Those actions are forming our habits. These are the things we're doing to manifest things too. Those habits are forming our character. That character is forming our destiny. So yes, ask. Yes, believe. Belief is so huge. Oh my gosh. Take action. Receive. Sometimes you don't have to take action. Sometimes God's just going to drop it in on you. The Most High is just going to drop it in. You'll be like, oh my gosh. Right? Or it's going to lead you to take the actions that will bring it into your life. So sometimes I don't want you to focus too hard on the how, right? It's going to come in if you just believe. So thank you for that. One must take action. One just can't sit and wait. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Michael. Ooh, your girl been talking today. We've been talking today, you guys. It is best to keep your vision and what you want to do to yourself initially. And then put it out there regardless of what people think. Oh, is it best? It depends on how much conviction and passion you have, I think. And it depends on what the vision is. I think that it can be very powerful, especially if you don't feel as confident, to protect your vision. You don't need other people's opinions on your vision, especially if you're not confident in it yet. But it's something that's inspiring you. There's something in your gut that's saying, go for it, but you're still trying to figure out your way. You may want to protect your vision and only take it to people that you really trust, you know. But if you have strong conviction and passion, you can do what you want with your vision, because sometimes speaking it out loud and having other people where two or more are gathered can see what you're talking about, it can bring the manifestation in sooner. So I say trust your gut on that. You know what it feels like, and usually it comes in your first mind. We just reason ourselves out of it, and then we get all confused about what to do. But if you ask yourself, take it to your subconscious mind. We're going to talk about that in future talks, because I'm reading a book right now by James K. Van Fleet, The Hidden Power of the Subconscious Mind. And I've been working these principles, and I'm going to be bringing to you this concept very soon. And it's going to help us to trust our first mind more. You know? So ask yourself, is this something, and you'll feel it a lot of the times. You'll feel it. Like, I don't need to bring that up right now. I don't need to say it. Trust it. Trust it. Trust it. I believe that's the Most High giving you the answer. And then maybe sometimes when we don't like the answer or we're unsure of the answer, we reason ourselves out of it. But you did get the answer. So I say just trust yourself on that. Crystal, you've been giving great feedback today, asking great questions, and being a wonderful contribution to this conversation. Thank you. Okay, you can show them better than you can tell them, church. Ashley, welcome to the conversation. You said your father taught you the answers to life lie within you. That's what we've been talking about, Michael. Where does real change come from? What we, I think, have gotten out of the practice of as human beings, especially with all these distractions, is learning to listen to our gut, learning to listen to the inspiration that drops in. Because I do believe that is God. That is the Most High speaking to you through your feeling receptors and letting you know what to do through a hunch, through a thought, through maybe something comes in, trusting those things that come in and acting on it. And sometimes, even when it feels like outlandish or a little ridiculous, you don't know how the outcome's going to turn out, you got to still trust it. Because that's the only way you're going to learn to trust it, is to feel the fear and do it anyway. And then you're going to see, oh, look at what the results that produced. Do it again and do it again. It's just like, let's talk about that subconscious thing real quick. You know how we'll be talking in a conversation with somebody, and you'll be on the verge of saying something, you say, dang, I was just about to say it, was on the tip of my tongue. Well, and you can't pull it up for nothing. And you relax about it, you forget it because it's just not coming up, right? And then it comes back to you. We got to learn to trust. Now, because I trust that, I'll even tell somebody, I say, don't worry about it. It's going to come back. Forget about it. Don't worry about it. Leave that thought alone. Relax. It'll come back. And like clockwork, it comes back. Same thing, trusting. And the more that we learn to trust it, it will show up. It'll show up. But trusting your first mind, you believe in it, and it'll just show up. Absolutely. We make the biggest mistake of conformity. Hey, Aisha, welcome to the conversation. Do it scared, baby. That's right. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Whether we want to create change, when it comes to ourselves, our life or relationships, change doesn't have to be hard. Speak on it, Julie. But it can be effortless. Real change doesn't come outside of us pushing through, but it comes from within. This thing keeps moving. It's not that we have to really create the change, but rather allow the change to happen. Speak. Allowing change. Hey, LaShonda, you're welcome, and thank you for doing these talks with me. Oh, thank you, Crystal. For some people, fear and lives in the subconscious. What you saying, Ashley? Hey, y'all, good morning. Welcome to Morning Talks with Ro. I'm going to be getting out of here soon. This is probably the longest talk I've done, but sometimes that's how long it takes for us to get out everything we want to, that it's intended to get out when we talk, right? This morning we've been talking about a lot of good stuff. Where does real change come from? It comes from within. It comes from within. And the more that we do the personal development on ourselves, we can trust what's coming from within. The more you do personal development, the more you learn about who you really are, the more that you do the healing you need to do, the more you do the decluttering and house cleaning on yourself that you need to do, you can trust, because you're cleaning up you're cleaning yourself up. You're more of a clear vessel for the God to speak through. We can't be afraid to face our stuff. Well, you can be afraid, but you got to feel the fear and do it anyway. That's where the real healing, real change, real liberation, real freedom comes from that. That self-work that some of us are avoiding is where your freedom is. Real talk. I can't tell you how many times I've been on my knees crying, purging myself of old thoughts, old behavior patterns, relationships, toxic thinking, all of that. Work. fasting to do it, fasting from people to do it, fasting from food to do it, fasting from thoughts to do it, fasting from certain energy to do it. It's a practice, but I'm more free. I'm more liberated because I've done the work. Discipline is your ally. All right. All right. All right. If you have Roger. Hey, Roger, how are you? Let's see. If we have the fear, we have to show ourselves we have to fight for no matter what goal we want to achieve. Yes, you do. Push through, baby. Freedom from within. Freedom is a choice. It is work. Freedom comes from the work that you may be avoiding doing on yourself. 2, freedom in your thinking. Toxic thinking. What are you tuned into every day, you guys? Real talk. What are you listening to every day? Who are you entertaining every day? Who are the people that you talk to on a regular basis? What is the common denominator that you share? And is that moving you towards a greater version of yourself? And if not, do you need to shift in how much time you're spending with those people or things? Good question. Okay, you guys, so I hope that you've enjoyed today's talk. I am sending so much love your way. I intend to do this every Monday until I don't do it, right? If there's anything that you want to talk about specifically, reach out and let me know at askro@gmail.com. That's spelled ASKRHO@gmail.com. Drop your comments in there. If you want to talk to me about some of the things that I've shared in this video that maybe you didn't have a lot of confidence to reach out to me about, or you didn't want to chime in, but you do have some things you'd like to express, feel free to reach out to me at askgrow@gmail.com. If you have some criticism, I'm asking you, how did I do today? Reach out to me and let me know. If you think there's a way that I can improve in how I communicate with you, let me know. I want to grow. I'm always stretching into a greater version of myself. So I'm open to hearing what you have to share with me. Good, bad, or indifferent. I welcome it. It's great practice for me too. Okay? So I'm sending love your way. Let me see what you guys wish you could be here for our big TG feast for the homeless. We're going to treat the homeless like royalty. Volunteering for Harvey every day. Beyonce Church, wish you could come and sing. Well, LaShonda, reach out and let me know what that's all about. I'm not familiar with what that's all about, but it would be my pleasure to see if in some way I can contribute. Hey Jay, how are you? Welcome to the conversation. Like I said, you guys, reach out to me at askro.com. Let me know how I'm doing. If there's a way that I can improve how I'm delivering this information to you, let me know. And I'm sending love your way, and I'll be back here on Mondays to talk to you. Okay? Peace. Or as I like to say to my folks, bye.